I said, yes, yes. Oh, real good. Come on. Oh, this is me. Oh, okay.
What's up with you? What are you doing?
At 6:02, upon the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
This one now. Fox President.
At this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from March 10th.
Second? Okay. Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Ms. Slater, Ms. Manak, Fox, yes.
Now we entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Ms. Slater,
Yes.
Ms. Manak, Fox, yes.
Next on our agenda is our compliance report by Ms. Williams.
Got a question.
Oh, excuse me.
Before you approve the agenda, are there any items you want to add to the agenda? It's the perfect time. Are there any items you want to add to the agenda this time? Any amendments here at the table?
What do you play the board?
Just didn't want to get down into the meeting and then
We're good.
okay, all right.
At this time, our compliance report by Mrs. Williams.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm so glad you're here.
On my side, I'm gonna give you an update on the compliance information. For the fall count, your enrollment that was certified is 583. For the spring count, your enrollment is 574. From MSDS, what was uploaded, you did what the ISD said.
That's not what it's upset.
Okay, this is
I
what.
can give you the official,
No problem, I'm just going off what prestigious area ISD gave from the audit finding, okay? So that's what I'm sharing with you, okay? Yes.
okay.
Okay,
Okay,
so
thank you.
in section 25E, there was an adjustment of 5.45. So that means, 5.45 students, so 5 students in the state aid is 8,700 each student.
8,700.
8,700. So that means whoever you had enrolled in the fall count was, you lost them before this spring count. So the spring count is February the 8th, so it goes all the way to February the 11th. So 5 students, okay? And you can ask, Frida Day for the audit findings, she's from the ISD.
Free today?
Yes. And then the next item I wanted to share is, MDE Treasury sent a letter to Dr. Hunt on March the 2nd in regards to some documents that they wanted by March the 13th. Was some documents sent to them in regards to the state aid?
Yes.
Okay. So the Board of Education also have to have a copy because it has to be uploaded to GEMS, which is the, grant system that MDE uses, okay?
So you still need to get that information.
Everything that you sent to the, state treasury department, that was due on March the 13th.
So, a lot of those documents came from, New Paradigm, and they were sent to us or straight to the State Department. The board did not get a copy of those until after the March 13th deadline.
Okay, so whatever MDE Paradigm sent to you, I still have to have the upload.
We'll send it to
Because
you.
what we need to know is what they uploaded the same things that you see, okay? So that's the only way we'll know, is by going in the system, and seeing what the paradigm said and what they provided you.
Yes, we'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, the board will get it. Mr. Delaporte sent it to the board.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just seeing if the attorney was on there, I'm sorry.
Okay, okay. And the next thing, before new paradigm departure, I need to make sure the board understands there are several things that you need to make sure you signed off. The new paradigm is not listed as the administrator anymore. There's a lot of different websites for MDE that you need to appoint someone that will take over when new paradigm is uploaded. So this is all the state testing websites, BAA, MSTEP, NWEA. Okay?
Yeah.
So you have to appoint someone, so all the information can still go through. Because if not, it'll be going to a new paradigm, okay? And there's a security form on CEPI website that you can download. Okay.
What is that, SEPI?
Stephanie,
That's an acronym?
Yes. And also the MDE, there's about 5 websites with all your grant money, all your funding, your food service, all that information. You need to complete all those things, okay?
Can we get those websites?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
That's it. You have any questions for me? Sir?
I do, and I would need to make some time or make an appointment with you. It's last I need to be informed on, and then I can inform the board as well. So we appreciate it. And we appreciate all you've been giving me, the board thus far. It's been very helpful. Thank you very much.
In regards to what was sent to the Department of Treasury, can I have that information by this Friday?
Yes.
Yes, we'll send it out. It's already in the email.
Okay.
Anything else, Ms. Stevens? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next on our agenda, we're going to go into closed session. And it may be a little long, so I want to indulge your patience. But we're going to make a motion now to go into closed session. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to go in closed session.
Second. Okay. Roll call.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Ms. Frady, Ms. Minot, Dr. Tiff.
You ain't got to go back again, you're out.
Maybe that's, oh, you know what that probably is? That's probably no, I didn't. And I had Aaron call today. All day long. And I've never done that. I don't need to go there. You gotta make it. No idea. Yeah, I think that might be him.
That's what I know.
Cool. Did you finish my question? Yeah, you wanted to do it there for what you want to do. It's just finished. You have some extra room though.
No, I should have 3 extra comments. In 24, y'all lose to one. You put the table there.
Extra room. Once they get that blue, they're gonna put the blue on.
You put a table in?
That's it. They use it as a table. Yeah, I'm telling you, just keep it all what you want to keep. That's it.
Yeah, it's different. Got pictures,
Then these are my shirts. Help on living. You want to stay out there.
all right. Because
So what we did, we put the chair, I got the table and the chair on. Now you got a position.
Oh, yeah.
I got some of it first. You remember I gave you the last.
What you put in there first?
I knew.
So if I make this stoplight, would you change my grade? The stoplight, I don't need it.
Yeah, yeah, the
Stoplight.
maybe the roof in the house.
I don't know why. Why I
see no problem. I'm trying to get some land. All right, we had to look, she wouldn't even look at that. I did,
Yeah, it was like, oh, yeah, when she like, yeah.
but the house was beautiful. I kept the good house. But I was wanting to put the land in the house. I got some people coming to your car.
Like, who finds it?
They got $5,000. How long they been in? About 30 minutes. You don't wait on me, you want me to get you on. You know, see, don't. Let me know you don't wait on me. See, thank you. They like curves. They like curves. Yeah, I think I'm about yeah, because at the same time, yeah, maybe back tomorrow. Like 3:30. I'll be over. Maybe the blame law.
Which spirit? Which one? The Holy. The Holy. Which one you gonna speak? 'Cause I want to be there to hear you.
Right, you know, so, yep.
We gotta do all this, and then that's when y'all
I'm
talk.
thinking that's what they talking
I know what's going on. The people tell the truth. That's how it's feel. So that's how I know.
You see that? You see that?
That was nice. I want to redo He would ask about, he would tell us. Hey, firm and open.
Yes, you know what I did? I literally looked up like certain material. I was gonna measure her foot out. And I was like, because it's like, you know. And that's been a long time. Mama bar. She left.
Well, the kids, though. All the kids lucky you do. Okay. All the kids lucky. can't stay out all night. You can't stay out all night. Oh, look at you.
It's okay. That's okay.
You behind me? I got it.
I'd like a motion to bring us, to reconvene the open session.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Ms. Slater, Ms. Minot, Fox, yes.
I'd like to thank everyone for their patience. We're now at the point of the agenda where the interim superintendent, Mr. Broadnax, will give his report.
Good afternoon, Madam President. Good evening, excuse me, Madam President, and Vice President, Treasurer Fox, and Member Minot. To all of you this afternoon, forgive me of my voice, must have been the weekend and the weather. It's been a very busy few weeks in the office of superintendent. You do have my report in front of you. I visited all schools on a consistent basis. Students and staff have been very receptive and welcoming as I conduct walkthroughs throughout the school district. Yes. Okay, y'all good. Is that better? All right. Y'all hear me? Okay, good. I met with a team from Health West, which is a program which we have in our high school. We're working to reconstruct a program which will provide more benefits for our students and parents. This program should relaunch in the district this fall, new and improved. I do have another meeting with them April the 17th. After school tutoring will be again tomorrow, March 21st, 2023 at Edgewood. If you have any questions, I don't see the principal tonight, but Ms. Crockett could answer any questions for you. I do have a meeting scheduled with the president of Muskegon Community College to discuss more options for our students coming school year. This meeting will take place the second week of April. So that meeting is coming up. It has been determined that the district does have $3 million in ESSER funds, which we use to help us close the achievement gap with our students and allow us to do some innovative things for our students and staff. I've reached out to the Shoreline staff to possibly hire some temporary help to assist us with installing new tables, desks, and chairs at our Edgewood and MLK campuses. Mr. Cooper, I know you're here. You said you take care of Edgewood. So just keep me up to date on that. And if we can get some volunteers from the community that don't have a record, I'd be glad to entertain that. So to help us move the desks, we have some nice desks and chairs to go into the classrooms over at Edgewood and MLK. And we want to do that over spring break. So if you're available, you would like to help us, please let me know. I met with Dean's Transportation, get an overview of our transportation services for the district. Also met with ABM to discuss janitorial and custodial services that are currently being provided in the school district. I met with Mr. Bland to discuss important matters concerning the district and developing a smooth and seamless transition between management entities. And that meeting went well. It was probably an hour and a half. I sent him an agenda. We went through all of that. There were 2 lockdowns at MLK last week due to angry parents entering the building. The administration handled the situation appropriately and provided me with written accounts of the situations. One incident happened immediately following one of my visits over there. Had I known that was going on, I would have turned around to help in that situation. That was at MLK this past week. I just had a couple of angry parents wanting to go over to confront teacher, but we took care of that. I always tell folks, please don't go into the schools, parents, if there are any here, please don't go into the schools acting unseemly. If you can't get the results you need, or you don't get the results you think you should have, please make an appointment with me. My executive assistant is here, Ms. Clark. Please come to my office so they don't call the police. Also, parents, let me just say this too, because I ran into this week as well at one of the schools. I'm not going to name which school it was, but we had a student to bring something inappropriate, not a weapon, but principal wanted to send a student home, and parent blocked the school district from calling. And I suggested to the administration, if we cannot get a parent to send the police home over to the house with the student, okay? Because we are responsible, and if we cannot get in touch with parents, it's been my practice to send the police to the house. That's the only way sometimes we can get the parents' attention. And I would gladly talk to parents if they have an issue, but that was my suggestion. I think the young man was picked up by the parent once they found that out. Also, I met with a group of community members who are working on several initiatives with the senior class. I'd like to thank Mr. Patton for working with that group and getting that group of community members into the school. After doing some research, there are more than 7 students that are prepared to graduate. The district is working to ensure students have all that they need to graduate. I'd like to thank the group of community members. I met with them today at 1 o'clock via Zoom. I'm not going to call their names, but I appreciate the work they're doing to really support the class of 2023. Tomorrow, March 21st, 2023 at 9:30, I will conduct my first administrative meeting with the administrative staff, which includes principals, our district staff, to begin planning for the remainder of the school year and the upcoming 23-24 school year. Regardless of whether I'm here or not, to start, open the next school year, and I'm just saying that because I'm the interim superintendent. We want to make sure school will be ready to start appropriately in the fall. So some of the highlights of that meeting, I don't normally give it out to the public, but the development of the 23-24 school year calendar will be done tomorrow. The district is not closing. The district will remain open, and we're preparing to have a smooth transition into the 23-24 school year. We will work on a SWOT analysis tomorrow for developing the district's new strategic plan. That's one of the administrators are one of the main stakeholders in developing that strategic plan. What is a SWOT analysis? It's the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the school district. I also will be talking about current curriculum and curriculum needs and teacher and staff support. Teachers feel overworked and undervalued. Let me tell teachers that are in here, just wave your hand. Where you at, teachers? I want you to know I'm working in your behalf. You see me in the schools. Hey, we're working to make sure you're supported and teachers are taken care of. Got a lot of phone calls over the weekend, text messages, those type things. And I've been in the buildings. I've spoken to several teachers, even today, about some of the concerns they've had. Finally, I've approved the invoice to be paid, which will allow the district to post all vacancies for the remainder of the school year and the upcoming 23-24 school year. This will be a good tool for recruitment of staff. Finally, in my closing, most of y'all probably figured out now that I'm preaching. So, in my closing, I always leave with a quote. I did that Sunday 5 times. I always leave the meeting with a quote. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Broadbent, for that very informative and detailed report. We appreciate that. At this time, we're going to move into the discussion. At this time, we're going to have a open interview with, last meeting we had one with a EMO. This time we have a different one that we're going to present to you, and we're going to ask questions in your hearing.
Is he on the? There he is right here.
Okay, Mr. Patterson? Can you turn the light on? We are now ready for your presentation. We're going to ask a few questions in regards to what you provided to us in the closed session. We are in front of the public. No questions will come from the public, but we'll have a few questions to ask you as we move forward. Can you see me? That's right. Mr. Patterson, can you hear us?
Can you hear?
Is your speaker on? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Your mic on? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Is it connected?
Oh, there it is.
Try now, Mr. Patterson. we try to get the computer? Pardon? Call the phone.
Mr. Patterson, we gonna call you through the phone, okay? Hold on. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, go ahead. Can you hear us? Okay, go ahead.
I can hear you.
What about you?
Your mic muted, Mr. Patterson.
Does anyone in the audience have IT?
Your mic muted, Mr. Patterson. Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, talk. Can you talk, Ms. Patterson?
That's the phone, man.
Sometimes you have to, leave and then go back onto the Zoom. It might be that Zoom is not.
It does show that.
No, you should reboot it. If you close out the Zoom and come back in, that may work. Close out the Zoom and come back in.
Come back.
Okay, they should log out and try to come back in and see what happens. Mr. Patterson. No, you try to log out and come back in.
Can you find out while he's coming back in if the others are working? To see if they're following.
Yes, see somebody else talking. You can hear.
Is what now? Nope, I turned the volume all the way up.
Tell them when you have content Zoom, tell them to join by the browser and not join that.
Anybody else?
Tell them to join by the browser. So you could have given them, I had to join by the browser. Someone to join by the browser, and then you'll be able to hear them. Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, join by the browser. Sir, hold on, where are you? Join by the browser. Once you log off and come back in, join by the browser, instead of the launchman.
Did you log off, Mr. Patterson? Can I try to come back in?
Ms. Phillips, where should can you come off mute and say something to see if we can hear you?
No.
We can't hear you either. Yeah, they have to join by the browser. It's underneath the launch. Well, you'll be able to see, but you won't be able to hear, so they have to, it says join by browser. That's when you'll be able to hear.
We did. It was the same
It
one. That's the same one we had in there, right? That's the same computer we had in there, right? You didn't have the same computer we were using in there? Oh, it is. I want to. Right? Yeah.
Just fine.
Ms. Park?
So Matt.
Hey, can we just use my phone and put the computer, put the microphone to my phone? Okay, let me try that. Are you there? Okay, can you speak?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, speak now, Dave.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Be everybody be quiet. All right, speak.
Welcome and good evening. Dave Patterson, the CEO of Midwest Management Group. I'm also joined with Ralph Cunningham, who's our president emeritus, and Carletta Counts, who's our executive director.
Thank you, and now you have the entire board before you. You've met us in the closed session, and also members of the community. And just give us a little overview, like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes of MM1 and why you think that you would be good for our academy.
Yes, thank you. So our approach is a scalable and adaptable hybrid approach to self-managed partnerships. So we provide 4 solutions. I've shared before. Those 4 solutions would be human resources, benefits administration, employer of record. The second solution would be the business services. The third solution would be the pupil accounting solution. And then a fourth solution, as needed, would be leadership and instructional coaching, all working through the direction of the board and superintendent. We have a previous partnership with the academy system and provided both the human resources solution with benefits administration, employer of record, and the business office solution. So we're familiar with the district at a pretty good level. I believe that the hybrid approach works for lots of districts for lots of reasons specific to the academy system. I think that the hybrid approach would allow the academy to maintain its identity as an independent school, self-managed, if you will, but allowing us to come in and do what we do well, the 4 solutions that I just discussed.
Thank you. Now we're going to entertain some questions from the board in regards to what we heard in the closed session and perhaps maybe some new questions relative to the success of our students receiving the kind of education they need, us having the kind of structure in place so that we can stabilize, the different aspects of the academy. So we're going to ask a question. First of all, I'd like you to talk about your success as far as when you transition. How successful have you been when you're transitioning from into a district such as the academy?
Thank you. Yeah, one of our core values at Midwest Management Group, and the first core value listed is discovery. So we pride ourselves in making sure that we understand the districts and the needs and the opportunities as a specific school district before we come in and try to just solve problems and so forth. It's a partnership. So as our executive director often says, we walk side by side with the administrative team to conduct the SWOT analysis or receive the SWOT analysis, and from there we help to create that individualized approach, adaptable approach to how the school is going to be operating on a daily basis. And with our 4 solutions, how those are embedded into the district. So the transition is, in one breath, the optics of the transition and the logistics of having staff come over to be part of the Midwest Management team through the academy system. That part is the easy part. The more challenging part is to make sure that we build that mutual trust and respect on the very front end, genuinely, and we understand and seek to understand what the needs are, and make sure that we're under-promising and over-delivering on those transitions. And we look to the partnership with the current staff and administration to build that relationship. And sometimes those relationships are speed dated, for lack of a scholarly phrase, because we got a lot of work to do for students, and sometimes the transition comes quick. So we've had experience transitioning in 2 days. Sometimes we've had a few months to transition.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions before I continue asking questions? Okay, Dave, when you say the transition from staff, regarding staff benefits and that kind of thing, only takes a couple of days, what does that entail?
So we have a team that we would bring on site and do some pre-work before we come on site, and basically receiving rosters of staff members and positions, making sure that we're communicating with the administration, and then coming on site to actually do an orientation onboarding with the staff, giving lots of face time on the very front end to ask questions and be really very clear on the benefits, the time frame of when those new benefits are going to start. So there is no lapse in the benefits. So some of that, again, front end work, we're going to receive information, but we need some face time with the staff pretty quickly to be able to do that, what we call onboarding and orientation. And that can be done as quickly as the academy system wants us to come on board.
So I have a question. So what would be the difference in you coming on now than previously when you were here? I don't know, did you hear my question?
Yes, I did, yes.
Okay.
I think there's a few differences. I think one of the differences is that we believe that we can support the academy even more so through the pupil accounting solution, and if needed, provide support with the instructional coaching and leadership coaching. And one of the things I always explain with that is that we do a very good job on recruiting staff members. We have about 1,400 employees. We have a substitute teachers program that becomes a really nice feeder. We provide orientation and development for our staff. But if we're not part of being able to retain those staff, sometimes that becomes a little bit challenging. So we would look forward to being able to provide at the level needed, again, the ongoing coaching for both teachers and leaders that may need coaching. And with that, you provide the development and training and opportunities to continue to grow those teachers, which inevitably results in retaining more staff.
So when you were here before, I'm not sure if you were fired or what happened, but why would you want to come back to a place that can let go of you once?
That's a great question. Our first partnership was one that we had decided to separate from the district, and then really quickly realized that if we would have separated at the time frame that made sense initially, it wouldn't have been good for students. And so we agreed to stay on and make sure that we had a smooth transition with the current partner that's in place. And so it was very mutual. It wasn't perfect by any means, but the transition with the company, the new partner, we were there every step of the way to provide them with whatever they needed, from finances to records and so on and so forth. So why did we come back? I mean, I don't have to take too long to answer that question. This is what we do. I mean, we're here to support schools that need support from the solutions that we offer. We felt the partnership was, solid. The last time around, we had a very limited role with the human resources services and not being involved in the daily operations, but worked really well through the former superintendent, and we would look forward to working through the current administration.
Okay. Are you aware of the issue the staff had with the federal taxes not being taken out last year?
With Midwest Management Group?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that detail. I know Ralph is on the call, and I don't know the details. Ralph, are you familiar with if that was a couple employees or one employee? I don't recall that. They probably can't. They're not going to be able to talk through here. So, yeah, I do not recall that. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I just don't recall that.
Okay. Can we follow up with that if possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Is someone else trying to speak they may have to use your phone to make comments.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to.
Okay. I have a question in regards to, I know they're talking about what happened previously, but I didn't have the opportunity to work with you or some of the other board members. So, I don't know, I guess I'm comparing this anyway. What do you feel, based on your conversation with myself and some of the other members of the board, do you see moving forward in a different manner? Or, I know we're different people, but do you see moving forward in a different manner based on your expertise? Or what is your feeling about that?
That's a great question. Sometimes I'm accused of being too candid, but that's how I operate. I would say that, what I'm feeling right now, what our team is feeling, is that, and I hope this rolls off the tongue the right way, we're partnering with schools to help operate the school at whatever level the school chooses in the hybrid self-managed model. And with the superintendent in place, obviously he has a role, and then the board governs. And so I feel very comfortable that from what I know in the conversations I've had with the current board members, that those roles are really clear, because while schools have lots and lots of expectations of us that are in contracts and even other things that arise, we try to do whatever it takes for kids. But our expectation is that schools, school boards, are really good at governing. And again, I hope I didn't say that in a condescending way, but that's the feeling I got, is this is a board that is really prepared to govern the school and has a very seasoned superintendent in place who we really desire to partner with.
Okay, Very good. Any other questions?
Along with the contract?
Okay, I know that, we looked at the contractual arrangement. Are those dates firm, or would you consider like maybe a 2-year contract? I think you have a 3-year contract at presently, on the contract. But, is that something that can be negotiated, or what is your feeling about that? Do you think that it needs 2 years could meet, the needs of what we, have here at the academy, or do you think it needs to be 3 years?
That's a great question. Here's how I'll answer that. And I would say that, typically any contract, right, can align no longer than what the charter contract term is. But what we're seeing with the schools we work with, that are partnership schools, for instance, is that, we're working with the state and the ISD, and a lot of those partnership arrangements are 3 years. And one of the schools, collectively with the board, we decided to go out to a 5-year partnership because of the amount of work that needs to be done, being realistic that those goals weren't going to be met in 3 years. So, every district's different, and we are flexible, to answer your question. I've been doing this a long time, and 2 years goes by really, really quickly. And so I think that, I'd be very confident to offer that there's going to be goals that are going to be met in 2 years, but to really, meet all the goals that are going to be in the partnership agreement, the charter contract, and then there's a strategic plan I'm learning about. I think 2 years is a very short time frame, but we would be flexible, yes.
Okay, so with that being said, it is possible to put language in the contract that says after 2 years, if all is well, we can renew it for another year or 2 years, and then or 3 years, if all is going well for those first 2 years. Is that possible?
Yes, that's very possible.
Okay, and that would be something that you would consider in the negotiation piece. Okay, that's fair.
Is the 6% a flat fee, or does it go up based on students?
The rate is 6% as far as the state percentage that for personnel, correct?
Yeah, it's not a percentage of your state aid amount. It's a much lesser amount. It's state 6% of your gross payroll.
Okay.
So when you look at your gross payroll amount before everything's added in, fees and taxes. So that's the fee for the solution for human resources and benefits administration and so forth.
So it's that for the package.
That's just for our solution for human resources to be the employer of record, benefits administration. The second solution, which is business services, is a monthly fee of $9,000, and then the pupil accounting is a monthly fee of $4,000, and then the instructional leadership and coaching is a daily rate.
So if we choose all of those, we would have to consider those amounts, but we don't have to choose all of those, correct? We have a choice because we want to maintain the self-management piece, correct?
Correct. And with a superintendent in place that reports to the board, and we're essentially working through the superintendent on a daily basis, I would assume that's typically the arrangement. And us not being directly managing the curriculum, the educational program, essentially you are self-managed with those solutions.
Can we repeat those fees? 9,000 for what now?
9,000 a month is for business services.
Business services.
And then the 4,000?
The 4,000 is?
That's for pupil accounting services.
Pupil accounting services.
And then what was the daily rate?
Monthly. I mean, the daily rate was what was that?
And the daily rate is $1,000 per day for our coaches to coach.
If we want that.
So
There
staff.
would be quite a few of those days needed, especially to add programs like career tech education and so forth.
So that's staff coaching, correct?
Yeah, leadership and instructional coaching. So a lot of times superintendents and boards will want us to coach specific up-and-coming leaders, aspiring leaders, and or current principals and specific teachers.
Okay. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
6% is the HR and the payroll, basically?
Yes.
Okay, well, Mr. Patterson, I think that you've answered our questions. We really appreciate you coming on board and allowing not only the board, but the public to hear from you. And at this point, we're going to continue with our agenda, but thank you very much, and you'll hear from us.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, as you know, last session, we also interviewed another company called C.L. Moore. And C.L. Moore, and when we started looking at all the numbers associated with Mr. Moore, we thought it was quite costly. And I can give you those numbers now if you'd like, but in order to bring on, we needed CFO services, and that was going to be $180,000 a year just for CFO services. Then the charge for the management company would be 18% of the personnel amount, which is pretty exuberant. I think that was the highest that was quoted as far as the proposals. Then the company, CL, did not come with curriculum, so we would need to invest in that as well. And there was one other fee.
I think those were all of them.
Okay. Okay, but basically, with all those pieces in place, it was quite costly for us, much more than the other proposals that we had received. So that's the reason why we opted to interview the second finalist. MM1 was the second finalist, and we brought him on board to interview tonight because we just decided on the one. So we brought that to everyone's attention so that you can at least hear our interview with him as well. The board has to make a decision on this. We know that our timeline is very short. We're into almost the end of March, and we need to transition. That means we have to get all our records in place. We have to get back into the MUNIS system. We have a lot of things that we need to do. So we don't have the luxury of time. So I know the board is going to perhaps vote one way or the other on either of these companies this evening. If for some, well, I won't go there. So you'll be hearing that vote in a few minutes. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was there was another company that we talked to, Meta 24. They did not make the cut as far as a finalist for the interview process. But when we found out that with Mr. Moore's company, there was no curriculum, we thought in terms of looking at another company that could perhaps bring curriculum. And Mr. Fox offered to do some legwork on finding that particular entity, and we decided to interview them tonight as well. We had a very good conversation with them. Their position is that in order for them to come on board, and that's, what does META stand for, Mr. Fox? The META? Enterprise, Teach, and Achieve. Make, Enterprise, Teach, and Achieve. Okay. They have a very creative approach as far as teaching our students or giving them opportunities to learn. So that was the attraction there. But the bottom line to our interaction with Meta 24 was that in order for them to even participate with us, we would need to have some things in place, like our strategic planning would have to be in place. We would need to have the transition of the EMO to come in and do our staffing, that kind of thing. Then they could come in and provide curriculum that would be innovative. And I believe that their innovation is that they would come in and teach students how to be entrepreneurs or use their best skill sets to be who they are. And in presenting those skill sets, they would learn the math, they would learn the reading, they would learn all the components of learning within that innovative process. So you'll hear more about that, and I have information if you want to read about Meta 24. So they would come along, if selected, or if we have an MO in place, they would come along and walk side by side with whatever service provider we selected. So they would like supplement what we're doing as far as our educational process, and we give opportunities to our students.
And we could pay for them, sorry, Madam President. That's a part of the rebranding of the district to bring more students back to the district. We gotta have something a little different. And we can pay for that through our ESSER funds. We do have those dollars available.
And ESSER funds are a grant. It would not affect our general fund.
Right.
It would just be monies that we do have available and monies that we need to spend between now and September 24th. So we would have that, and so it would actually give us a boost as far as our budget. And we're very concerned about that at this time, of course, you know that. So that's what Meta 24 did for us. The next item on our discussion list is our transition agreement. You've been hearing lots about that. So a few weeks ago, the PSA group, our group, put together a transition agreement. We sent that forth to the BOE board, which has to agree, and also to New Paradigm. BOE board came back with 2 edits. And so we put those edits into the transition agreement that we had written. So we combined those 2. So we were ready to move forward with accepting that agreement. We then sent that to New Paradigm and had them review it. And they came back with some other edits that they wanted to include in our transition agreement. I responded to their request. I put as much of what we could do, what they recommended, into the new and hopefully final transition agreement. There were 2 areas that we were asked to include, which we were not able to include. And the reason why we could not include those particular items that New Paradigm was offering was that it would go against our fiduciary responsibilities. It would be illegal for us to do that, what they've asked us to do. I don't know if they were aware of that or not, but we have, as our fiduciary agreement, we swore to it, that we protect the funding of the school, that we would also take care of the educational piece for our students, and make certain that those fall in line with what the law says and what the charter says. And that because we work in tandem with the BOE board, what they also, their input as well. So based on those, it was 2 items that I was not able to include in the response to New Paradigm, and we've not heard from them.
And
So
Madam
what
President, I'm sorry, and Madam President, the board just didn't make that decision now, just that what they were advised by the attorneys of those fiduciary duties. They're just not making that up, that they were advised to follow that. Those are the duties, to take care of the finances and of the district and the students. That's why she said that. I just want to verify that came as a recommendation from the attorneys, okay?
So tonight, your board would like to at least vote on the transition agreement that we feel is viable for where we are right now. And then we will wait on New Paradigm, but we need to move forward with at least a transition agreement. Now, keep this in mind. The contract that was signed July 1st, 2022, contained in that language transition information. So whether we had an agreement or not, there's transition information in there on how we would transition if for some reason we decided to not follow through with a 5-year contract. So that's a given. So we are looking to that right now. That is kind of what's leading us through this process. That transition agreement that says that you have to come, do the transition, be helpful, incorporate one with the other, at least for 90 days, which would more than likely take us to the end of the school year. The only difference with the contract is that initially it was from July 1, 22 to June 30th of 2027. The transition piece would be that it would go from June 1, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. Everybody's in agreement with that. Everybody wants to move forward with that. It's just how we get there. That was the agreement, the transition agreement is for how we get there. And everyone is in agreement pretty much, except for 2 points. So I don't know how we're going to work through that. We can continue to work through that, but still we have to move the school forward and teaching for our students forward. So that will continue to go forward. So if we're going to present the transition agreement as we have presented it, and hopefully we'll move forward, and then during our action item, we'll vote on that. The next item, D, where's my glasses? Is the education consultant for graduation. Let me just explain that to you, and our superintendent may speak to it also. Everyone knows that we have concerns about our students graduating. That's been a topic of conversation for quite a few weeks. We have been doing some research on that, how to best get our students to the point of graduation. Principal Patton has been working very diligently to help in that process. Our new superintendent, our interim superintendent also has been working on that and talking to different schools and different entities on how best to service our graduates so they can get completion or get to the end of the school year in good shape, they can walk across the stage. One of the recommendations or one of the pieces to that is that we have a person that knows how to do all the things, can give Ms. Patton some help as far as testing, counseling, because I don't think we have a guidance counselor, giving that direction to our students and get to successfully to the end of the school year, which means that this person, if hired, would become key with getting that process in place, working with the students, working with the testing, whatever's necessary to assist our students in getting to the point where they feel comfortable and they know that they'll be able to move forward as far as graduation. Now, one of the areas of uncomfortability for the board is that only 2 of the board members really have talked to this consultant. We have a contract, and what we would like to do, because if we wait to our next regular board meeting, which is next month, we've lost a lot of time. So what we would like to do in the action items is to approve having a consultant to help our students with graduation, pending the review of that contract by the entire board and with our legal team. If it's not,
it's a recommendation by the superintendent, this person is. I've met with this person, I've vetted this young man. He was here and have met with me probably 2 hours last week before last. And so he's ready to get started. The quicker we can get going, get the contracts reviewed by the board. I've reviewed it. I asked him, I didn't like something in it, and I asked him to revise it, and we got it later this afternoon. So it's going to go to the attorneys and to the board for them to review. I asked them to go ahead and approve it pending, because again, we're losing time. Graduation will be here and we're still spinning in circles. I've asked the board to make some decisions, and let's move on. You got to make some tough decisions. We got to do what's in the best interest of kids. I think this is in the best interest of kids. We have the money, and so let's go ahead and get it done for kids. And once the board reviews it and attorneys review it, they can get it back to me, and then we can move on. It's approved.
I would just like to indicate from my own perspective, and I indicated that I don't know who this person is, have not reviewed any information about this person, and I think to make an informed decision, we definitely need to have that information. I agree that it is critical that our seniors receive some consultation, but it's also critical that we make a good decision on whoever this person is. And I know for me, I don't have that information, so I cannot comfortably make a decision on that without having information. So that's just my point.
Any other comments from board members? So again, the decision to bring on this consultant to assist our graduates would not be made until the board fully understands the contractual commitment, meet that person who's willing to come tomorrow, whatever, to talk with us, and have the legal team read through the contractual information. Now, keep in mind too, that even if we brought this person on board, signed the contract, BOE still has the opportunity to disapprove it if it's not contractually what it needs to be, if it's not according to the law, of course. So we have this check and balance system in place. So that is one of the items that we're going to be looking at as far as an action item tonight. Having a consultant come on to assist our graduates pending the review of contractual information, interviewing this person, talking with him, and then having a legal team look over the documents so that nothing should be fall by the wayside. So, any more comments on that? Okay, moving on to the next item. Number E is the district assessment auditor. Now, what is that? And what does that mean? And why are you bringing all these people on board? Number one, we do have dollars, extra dollars that are not part of the general fund that we can use for these particular individuals if we decide to bring them on board. It wouldn't come from the general fund, it would come from our ESSER dollars, which have to be spent within a certain time. So it's not a luxury, but we have the opportunity to be able to assist our students in areas and fund that without having come out of our general fund or our state aid money. The assessor would do this, but assessment would be done of where we are right now in the district. What's happening with our school district? How can it be better? How can we improve? What do the students need? We would talk to teachers, we would talk to, not everyone, but quite a few of you, as far as what's needed to move us and solidify us as an academy. Solidify us so people can say, you know, you're moving in a good direction. It seems as if you got A, B, and C's together. So that assessor or that assessment would be done across the board within our district. That information then would come as a recommendation to the superintendent and to the board as to this is what I think you need to what should happen in your district based on other school districts comparable to where we are right now. So assessment is just finding out where we are and then putting together a strategic plan so that we can make that happen for our students. So that particular person would come on an ad-needs basis. It may take him, I don't know, maybe a week to do the assessment. And then he would give us that information. We might not see him after that.
We'll be done with them. As soon as we get an assessment and an audit, we would be done with that person. But we do need all eyes on the district that can talk with me and the board. I'm going to be out there and I'm going to be meeting with folks and my entire staff. But it's important that we have all hands on deck. I want you to be able to see that we're making progress in the district and not just sitting down looking. So I think once the assessor does the assessment and an audit, we got to have some kind of educational audit at this point to be prepared to go into next school year. We're already in March. It's going to be spring break in a minute. We're entering the last 9 weeks of school. So it's really time to close out successfully and be ready to open up successfully in September.
That leads us to the beginning, the strategic planning process. And so tomorrow, I believe that our interim superintendent is going to be meeting with staff as far as getting ideas as to what we strategically need to do. Because the staff is closest to the situation. They know, they have recommendations on what is needed, what would help our system move forward. So that's going to be in place. And based on that information, along with information from an assessment, would help us to be able to put together a strategic plan that we can all live with.
Madam President, within the strategic plan, what we have to do is gather data from the community. So there'll be a survey developed on how they believe that the district is functioning as well. That's going to be part of the strategic plan.
Okay, so that's all of the information for discussing items. Does any other member have questions, comments, or any input? Okay. Mr. Fox? Is everybody still asleep? Don't go to sleep on me. All right, good. Okay. So next, we're going to move into the action items. And it was recommended that we start with the agreement, the transition agreement. Now, I know that you've not had the opportunity to read the transition agreement, but it will be online. We will put a copy of that with our minutes. So that'll be available to those that would like to view it. And the transition agreement that we're agreeing on is the one that the Academy and BOE agreed that that was the best way to move forward, like I said, we're still waiting for information from New Paradigm, and as soon as that comes forward, you will receive information on that as well. So, at this time, I'm going to entertain a motion for us to, accept or move forward with the transition, agreement that has been put in place by the Academy and the BOE board.
Good, quick question. So once we select the EMO, that stops New Paradigm's payment? Is that when their payment stop?
When we hire a new EMO,
Is that when New Paradigm payment stop?
is that when their payment stops? Well, the responsibilities will be transferred to the new education provider,
Right.
service provider. And I probably need to ask the legal team. I don't know if they're not doing it, if it's transferred, that cost them would be on the new service provider and not, New Paradigm. That's how I'm understanding it.
Okay.
So, and I can clarify the information unless someone else has some information on that. But I think that's how it works, because everything's gonna be transferred over. The staff will be transferred over, the benefits will be transferred over. So the responsibility of that would be with the new service provider and not with, New Paradigm.
Right.
So if they're not doing it, they shouldn't be getting paid for that.
Just want to make sure.
Okay, so I would like to entertain a motion to accept the existing transition agreement that the Academy and BOE has agreed upon.
Make a motion to accept the transition agreement.
Can I get a second? Okay, roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Ms. Slater?
Yes.
Ms. Manat? Fox, yes.
Okay, very good, thank you. The next item that we're going to be talking about is motion to hire the educational consultant pending an adequate funding source and with approval of the Academy board and the legal team.
Are we adding the curriculum piece now, or how are we doing that?
The curriculum piece will be added once we bring on the EMO, then we can talk about the curriculum piece, because that's going to be walking alongside the EMO. In other words, the EMO is going to do the HR, bring on the staff, that piece of it. And then don't help me, then the curriculum will come on in conjunction with that. So we're gonna do this in concert, because you need both. So we vote on the EMO, and then we decide on whether or not we want the Meta 24 to be that walk-along piece. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
So what EMO are we voting on?
The EMO right now that has met the criteria of what we want is, it's cost effective, it is going to offer us the HR piece and the staffing piece. And the one that we have right now is MM1. The other is too costly. I don't think it would be too costly for us to consider the other, unless you want to consider the other one. What's the board's pleasure?
So whichever one the motion is made on, because it has to be one, you have to identify one. We just can't say EMO. So you have to say either MM1, CL, MOA, or New Paradigm, one of the three.
Okay. All right, with that being said, I'd like to entertain a motion now to bring on as a service provider, MM1.
And then
I make a motion that we select MM1 as the service provider moving forward. Is there a second? All right, that vote is lost, that motion is lost because there's no support for it. For MM1.
So if we don't, we have to go back through the whole process?
You have to go back through the RP process, that's correct. which means we're gonna be probably at the end of the school year. If you'll just give the board a minute to contemplate what we're facing here right now. Give us a minute.
And then we would do a separate vote right now for the curriculum to walk alongside, or how do we do that?
You do that at your next meeting. You wouldn't do that right now. You get the EMO in place. We start our strategic planning by the next board meeting, which is April, what, 20th or something. You can,
17th.
you can show Meta 24 that, hey, we've done these things. We have an EMO board. Well, if you're gonna do that curriculum piece with Meta 24, I'm just saying, you gotta have somebody in place.
So what's the board's pleasure? You got a second? Okay, it's been properly moved for us to bring on board MM1. It's been seconded. Can we have?
Mhm. You gotta vote on it.
Okay, so roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes?
Ms. Slater,
I'm a no.
Ms. Manat, if I abstain, it don't pass. It don't pass. I don't have any questions. I just want to make sure that it's the right move for the staff. And how long is the contract? I'm gonna say yes, pending contract review.
Okay, the motion has been adjusted a bit. We have 3 votes to bring on MM1, pending a review by further review by the board, and also, I guess, legal as well. Legal as well.
So that means this process could still take a little while. But what I want you to do, I want you to really think about it. Because we need to move forward. Now, if you decide no, after looking at the contract, we'll have to start the RFP process all over again. And which would put us in a behind the 8 ball with preparing for next school year.
Who would, since we're not selecting the educational piece, who are the other options for us to even look at? For education, CO Moore doesn't do education.
CO Moore, again, the Mr. Dr. Prince tonight suggested he could do those things, but
right.
Again, we would have to quickly go back through an RFP process if that's the case.
No, I'm saying just for curriculum.
Oh, just for curriculum.
Right.
I would say if you want the Meta 24 piece for curriculum, you can do that because we're trying to rebrand the district and we've got to have something different in here and be more innovative to bring somebody in. Now, what I will talk to tomorrow with the administrators are other curriculum needs, such as ELA, reading, science, those type things. And so along with Meta 24, I think would be fine.
But you have experience as an experienced superintendent with curriculum, correct?
Yes. So what I normally,
We wouldn't necessarily need someone to bring in curriculum if we have, you know what I mean?
so look,
Let me just say this.
Meta 24 could be like that CTE piece that jumps out at our kids, that cosmetology piece, those type things. It doesn't have to be the ELA. What I would do is put together a focus team for ELA and reading, those type things with the teachers and our principals to help me pick that curriculum. Yes, and vet that curriculum. But if we want something that's going to say, hey, come from Muskegon, come back to Muskegon Heights, it's got to be something different. It's got to be that Meta 24 that said we can get in the classroom and we can do hair, we can do nails, we can do all that other stuff. So I can deal with the other curriculum pieces.
But they can also get that from the CTC through the ISD. So why would we? I guess I don't.
We wouldn't have to contract it out though. It wouldn't be another contracted
It
service.
would be. We would be contracted.
I'm saying CTC would be contracted, another contracted service for that. They would be handling our that would be based in our curriculum.
So that's why the superintendent suggested that we've already voted on the service provider. We could have a special meeting to bring in some Meta. You know, if we wanted to do that at some next week meeting or whatever the case might be, we wouldn't have to wait till next month.
Right.
We could bring them in and say, okay, based on where we are right now, based on the assessment, based on where we're headed, based on whatever ISD is going to be able to do for us, this is our next step.
That's fine.
So we need to have the EMO, the service provider, they told me to use EMO on service provider, and then we move to the next piece of that. If that's okay for the board,
yeah,
we can move there, and then we can always have a special meeting to make sure that happens. Okay, so that is how we'll move forward with that. The next action item is, so MM1 will be the service provider, and then we're going to entertain what's going to happen with Meta 24, not tonight, but at a special meeting coming up hopefully in a very short time, within maybe the week. The last but not least is a motion to hire a district-wide assessment auditor. And it's my understanding that it was a decision to table that until another meeting. Am I correct on that? So can I have a motion to table the assessment auditor?
Make a motion to table the assessment audit.
Second.
Okay, maybe have a roll call, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Ms. Slater,
Yes.
Ms. Minot, Fox, yes.
Okay, very good. Last but not least, I said that before, but we have one more. That's a motion to hire an education consultant pending an adequate funding source with approval from the board and approval of the legal team.
With a review of the board from the board and the legal team. Education consultant for graduation.
Oh, so we need D first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I overlooked that. So I would entertain a motion in regards to the educational consultant, and this person will be brought on board only after reviewing the contractual information, which our interim superintendent has already reviewed. I've seen it, but we also would need the legal team to see it and the board to see that information before we would move forward with that. So that is the motion. Can I get, I guess a second? I'll entertain a motion for that.
Have we checked it? You said we can use the source,
That's our fund. Mm-hmm. That's our fund for that. I entertain a motion. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion made to hire an educational consultant pending review of the contractual information by the board and by the legal team. Is there a second? Okay, being no second, then we'll also have to table that particular.
Yeah, that's for graduation. That's for the kids.
Let me restate the motion. Maybe I stated it incorrectly. An educational consultant would be needed to help with the graduation of our seniors. That person will be hired for a short time, probably between now and the end of the school year. It's not a long-term.
And it's not every day. Not every day. Maybe twice a week.
So how is the contract written up?
Pending the review of the contract and the legal. Now, what we get, if we
Because
don't.
I agree that we do need it, but, because they'll be out of school, June 7th is graduation, they'll be out of school 2 weeks before that. So I want to see exactly what he's gonna do in this short amount of time to get 27 more kids graduated.
Okay, so then let's table this as well. I don't know what else we can do. If you still have questions, or we can put the vote and see where the vote goes. Is that the pleasure of the board?
Whatever.
To the motion.
Yeah.
Well, it's been probably moved, and I'm gonna second it, that we move forward with, voting on this motion. So could we have a roll call, please?
Dr. Hunt,
Yes.
Ms. Slater,
I will be a no at this time until we get more information about the consultant.
Ms. Manat,
Yes.
Fox, yes.
Okay, so moved. So now we're going to move to the next part of our agenda. Public comments, and I do have some here. And thank you for your attention thus far. Did I get all of the? Okay. I'll take it. Thank you. Now, keep in mind, you're gonna have 3 minutes. I know you probably want more than that, but 3 minutes uninterrupted. 3 minutes uninterrupted, okay? The first person that I have the pleasure of calling on is Mr. Cooper.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, man. You got motivated. You don't take it over. In reference to your question with the table. I don't need a mic. No, you need a mic.
I'll meet you halfway.
I don't need a mic. In reference to the table, Superintendent, I had 2 of my students here. We do have 3 tables, got 2 more tomorrow. They will be put in place. Okay. Second item, what you up here debating against, you really need a counselor now to work along with that piece you're talking about. Because believe it or not, we lose kids when you don't have a schedule going out the door. And we do have some experienced people here who are willing to come forward. Another piece I want to share with you all, that tech center you need. For a fact, some of these schools are lowering that grade down to 7th and 8th graders now. I had injection molding over in that machine there. We could not keep it up because you don't have the dollars. The tech center came on board. That's an ace in the hole. But these schools now lowering the grade to 7th, 8th graders. Orchard View is already there. Muskegon, those kids are designing stuff now. So please, another piece, I did give a chance to get the approval from Ms. Vanilla, I'm not trying, I'm not, no, I'm not trying, listen. This is what I want to say on this. No, I say, all I want you to do is just information. That attendance, you said 2 months ago that you losing attendance on all your grades. All right, this bulletin right here come from ISD. This information need to go to the parents. I had this morning, a kid got out of one car, and I say, Mama, what about the other kid? My kid is sick. I say, please call the school. These parents do not call the school. We fooling ourselves. We got to be, if you look at this bulletin right here, you'll see a missing chair right here. A missing chair. So that information need to go to the parents. But when you got from preschool all the way down there, we trying to grow a district with big kids. You must grow a district with little kids. We have cut out art, music, and PE in the lower grade. I had 5 church members that pulled their kids completely out of the school and over in the Lakeside. Art kids learn from art. That's how they learn how to write. They already changed STEM to STEAM, whether we like it or not. That A stands for art. What they're doing now from 1 to 3, I'm done. I'm done. Please grow the district. We're not growing the district.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. I know I'll hear more from you. Okay. Next, we have Mr. Joseph Warren.
It won't take me 2 minutes to do this. On last meeting, I got up and I made a comment about Miss Kitchen Slater about recording. I misspoke when I said that. So when I misspoke, me being the man I am, I would like to publicly apologize like I publicly spoke. And so I would like to ask her for my forgiveness because I said something that I didn't know, but I did hear the conversation, but I made the comment to Miss Kitchen Slater. So my spirit wouldn't let me rest until I did that.
Okay. Next we have, thank you. Next we have Pastor Riley.
That was good, Joe. That was good. That was good. That was good. That was Christmas. Yeah, that was good. That was good. So that's something to be proud of. Oh yeah, I ain't gonna take that long. Because I got a question. Y'all was arguing, discussing about the financial part, right? Of MM1. Crystal Wood. No, man, yeah. I'll call you back. Okay, now he took some, but y'all was talking about the finance part of the district, correct?
Hit the button on the side, it'll stop ringing.
3 minutes, uninterrupted.
Here, hand that phone back. Okay, y'all was talking about the finance part of the contract. Is that correct? Y'all can't even answer that. The finance for MM1.
3 minutes uninterrupted.
I'm asking you a question. All right. Okay, so I assume y'all talking about the finance. Now, the educational part, I didn't hear y'all talk about. Well, who's the educational part? And that's Meta. The consultant. Okay, then, what happened to the other consultant? Then you have another consultant? Okay.
Thank you, Pastor. Okay, next we're gonna have comments from, Ms. Kim Fisher. Is she still here? Okay.
Listen, I had a lot of questions when you all were talking and speaking. A lot of the questions I have is, why is it you keep wanna hire out district and services? We have a lot of people that can, I know people personally as an educator, retired educator, that can do your curriculum right here in town. They can do a lot of the stuff that you all considering to hire out. You utilize the people here in Muskegon Heights or Muskegon, counselors. I know them. People hire within and quit spending all this unnecessary money on these consultants. Stop. Don't do that. Seriously. That's all. I just think it's unnecessary to spend all this money.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Okay, last but not least, we have James Burton.
Thank you. Good evening, Board. Superintendent Broadnax. My statement is going to be concerning the questions in regards to your agenda and some other things. First, you've been talking about the spending and hiring of consultants and contracts. I think with your EMO RFP proposals, in order for the board to make informed decisions, I think it should be laid out apples to oranges for comparison purposes when you quote these things, because in front of them, I don't believe they've had the information for comparison between MM1, CL Moore, and who was the other group that was involved in that. I think that it should be laid out and able to be discussed so you actually can do a fair comparison of those education management groups. But to you, Dr. Hunt, I noticed that you stated that after you complete, this board completes a review and a contract, you're going to turn it over for the Board of Education to review. The Board of Education, under the revised school code, your authorizer, has misled this board in the removal actions under the revised school code, along with the compliance officer, Marlene Williams, in their application of the revised school code. They have a duty and the authorizing to terminate contracts. The issues in this district arise from new paradigm. So if that board can terminate a contract that you make today with a educational management group, they also could have terminated the contract earlier this year with new paradigm. So the Department of Education came down with those findings in December. But instead, they used the language to remove PSA board members who are looking to hold new paradigm accountable.
We do have one more person that, okay, good? Okay, all right. Thank you so much. At this time, thank you for your comments. We're going to have final comments from Superintendent Broadnax.
Good evening again. Again, I have an open door policy. If you want to know anything about me, come by and see me. Ask me about come by and see me. I know there's been some questions in the community. I'll be happy to answer them if you would like to see me. Again, thank you for a wonderful opening to my time here in Muskegon Heights.
Comments from any board members?
I got a couple. Cool. I just want to tell you, like, so the Meta 24 program, you mentioned CTC. Meta would be like CTC on steroids, but in our building. So everything CTC offers, we will have it in our building, and our kids will be able to sell the items that they make in the school. They'll be able to sell them in the school store. So we will learn to be entrepreneurs, and they will learn certain trades, and they will still get the everyday curriculum that they are required to have by the state. So my recommendation would be Meta 24. My next comment would be to the people that's on Facebook, Twitter, whatever social media you on, complaining about what's going on in this community, but you're not coming to these meetings. So you're not coming to the meetings, you're not volunteering, you're just complaining on the internet. So if you're not gonna help us and put some 10 toes to the ground and come put some work in with these kids, help them get graduated, help the younger ones want to stay in Muskegon Heights, because we can have kids in kindergarten, and then by the time they're good enough in sports, they go into other schools. So I stopped coaching for that reason. I coached at Muskegon, I coached at Grand Rapids Union, and I don't want to coach no more until I can come back home and coach. I don't really want to teach no more until I can come back home and teach. So I'm tired of all these comments about what's not being done. Come put some work in and you can see what's being done, because I'm still focused on solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I have, prayed a lot about, what I wanted to say, and asked the Lord to really guide me in what to say. When I agreed to take this position, I came into it with the intent of being part of a team that would work tirelessly and meticulously to serve students, our students in Muskegon Heights, and support the staff in doing this difficult, because it's a difficult job. I'm a social worker, but I tell people all the time, I don't know if I could be a teacher. And I hear teachers say, it's like, vice versa. I couldn't do what you do. Well, it's a difficult job, but it is fulfilling. My job is difficult, but it is fulfilling. Instead of that, I think what I've experienced are periods of time where we have worked against each other, as opposed to working in collaboration for the greater good of our students. So tonight, I propose that we switch gears and move towards a more productive relationship to address the needs of our students first and foremost, because we know that God is not the author of confusion. We stand on the backs of individuals who have epitomized the very definition of tiger pride. I don't know what a lot of people know what that means unless you've actually been a tiger, what tiger pride really means. And those who are still with us are probably disheartened by some of the things that they have seen, some of the things that they have heard. Those who have gone on before us, who have gone on not with us still, will probably have a lot to say about what's been going on. Probably would turn over in their graves if they saw it. I am not naive to think that every decision that I have made has been perfect. In fact, some of them probably have not been. However, what I know is that every time I step through that door, my intent is to be a part of a team of amazing individuals who are looking to move our students forward so that they can meet their full potential and soar as tigers, reach their highest heights. So let us not forget that for many of our students, our voices are the only advocacy that they might receive. So from here on out, we need to make a commitment to confront our respectful differences in a way that does not pit one person against the other or to undermine someone else's opinion. As a people, we have always found it difficult to support one another, but we are experts at tearing each other down. We need to change that. That cycle needs to end. It needs to end tonight because we can't continue to move forward that way. And I want to quote 1 Corinthians 13:13. Anybody who knows the Bible knows what the truth is. And now abide faith, hope, love. These three. But the greatest of these is love. We need to bring back that love. We need to walk in it. Love for our school, love for our community, love for each other, and most importantly, love for our students. If we do that, we can't go wrong. Because as you know, the Bible also says that God is love. So if we walk in love, we walk by the order of the Lord.
Trustee Manat. I want to thank everyone that's stuck in here tonight and was with a part of this whole process. We're moving forward with the vision of our students in mind. I'm appreciative of the work that Interim Superintendent Broadneck has already done. I appreciate what you're doing individually. I don't know everything, but I appreciate all of your efforts. So let's just continue in this vision of moving forward and becoming that world-class group we know our students can be and what this community can be. At this time, we stand adjourned at, we need a motion to adjourn. Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Are we? Oh, exactly. Dr. Hunt?
Yes.
Ms. Slater? Ms. Manat? Fox, yes.
What time? What time is it? Okay. Stand adjourned at 9:36. Thank you.
Somebody else computer over here. We on the way. Where's your button over here? All right, thank you. When you're quiet,